Welcome to metric multiplication. Some of this will be simple, some of this will be quite tricky, so you gotta pay really close attention here. The simple cases are when one of the numbers will have a metric unit of measurement with it. For example, when it comes to length, consider the following one here. A tile has an edge length of 1 decimeter. You have 5 of these tiles to make it across the countertop. How long are they? Without the grout line in between? The answer is 5 decimeters. What you do is just multiply the numbers. 1 times 5, 5. And then you copy the unit of measurement. It was decimeters there. It will remain decimeters there. Same works in metric weight as well. When you have a mass of 20 grams, and say you have 3 of those, the final answer is, this multiplication is 60 grams. Just 20 times 3, 60, and the unit of measurement gets copied over into the final answer. If you come to class and I don't see a unit of measurement correctly on your final answer, you don't get a point for it. Finally, another example here, metric capacity. For example, you have a 10 milliliter capacity, you want to double it, the final answer is 20 milliliters. 10 times 2, 20, and the milliliter just gets copied into the answer. So far so good, but that's where the simple problems pretty much end. There is a more complicated one that's done with, sorry about the camera, that's done with similar units of measurement, and this is what I mean by similar. I mean length, particularly length. Here's a road painting problem. We're painting a line on the road that's 5 centimeters wide and goes on for 3 kilometers. The question is, how many square meters of paint do we need for this paint job? And the answer isn't 15. That's wrong. That's incorrect. You cannot just take the 5 and the 3 and come up with 15 there, because what do you do with the unit of measurement? Which one do you want to pick? 15 doesn't work with centimeters, doesn't work with kilometers either, because kilometers is 100 times more than centimeters, and on top of that the requested unit of measurement is square meters. So I wrote up here a 3-step procedure that will work with this one reliably and consistently. Here it is. Step 1. Convert the given units, the centimeters and the kilometers, to base units. That means meters. Here I wrote up all of them. The millimeters, remember, centimeters, decimeters, meters, decameters, hectometers, kilometers. And the exchange rate is 10. Everything is tenfold. So 10 millimeters make a centimeter, 10 centimeter makes a decimeter. Remember that? So convert base units, do the multiplication, and if needed, convert the final answer to requested units. Well, we're going to convert centimeters to meters and kilometers to meters, and we're going to need square meters as final answer. It's going to be fairly straightforward. How centimeters are converted to meters is standard procedure. Start at centimeters. That takes 2 jumps, so you write down the amount 5, and you're moving the decimal dot. 5 is the same as 5.0, so you move the decimal dot 1 spot, 2 spots. That's where you end up with, and then just fill it in with zeros. Final answer is 0.05 for the centimeter amount. So 5 centimeters is 0.05 meters. I'm just going to make this one into meters. I know it's a little bit ugly, but work with me on this one. Next is 3 kilometers. For kilometers, we're going to have to start here at kilometers and go to meters. 1, 2, 3 jumps. 3 jumps to meters, so you write 3 here. 3 is the same as 3.0, so you're starting here, 1, 2, 3. That's where the decimal dot ends. Fill it in with zeros. 3 kilometers is 3,000 meters. So now you have meters and meters to multiply with. Similar units of measurement, it works within length. 3000 times 0.05. Let's do it on a calculator, just real casual here. 3000 times 0.05. 150. There, so you can better see the display. 150. So the final answer is 150 square meters. Please notice that not only the numbers needed to be multiplied, but also something happens here with the units of measurement. I multiplied meters with meters to get square meters. Okay, it doesn't happen with weight. Grams and grams are never multiplied for any reason to get square grams. There's no such thing. It doesn't work with liters. It only exists, these kind of things only exist in length to get square meters out of it. And you can also multiply three numbers to get cubic meters or cubic measurements. Okay, now just let's get back to the paint problem for one last second here. 150 square meters of paint is needed for the road painting job, and most of the time paint is sold in liters or gallons or whatever else, but not in square meters. So it's gonna need one more conversion, but I'm not gonna do that. In this problem, what we did is we converted the given units to the base units, and we did a multiplication. The answer of the multiplication is in square meters, same as the requested units, so there is no more conversion needed, and converting it to liters is another story, not for this video. However, you can do this multiplication with three amounts, and I want to show you that one. For example, you have a bathtub. I'm just gonna draw a bathtub here. There, it's an ugly bathtub, but you get the idea. And you know, it's a perfectly square, it's a rectangular prism bathtub with totally square corners. And you want to know how many cubic meters of water you put into this bathtub. And to do it, you have to measure the length, the width, and the height of the bathtub. So there's gonna be so many centimeters for length, and you have to multiply it with, because you take your measurements in centimeters, you're gonna have so many centimeters of width, and it's gonna have I'm just gonna write it here, so many centimeters of height in it. It's not gonna give you cubic meters right away. Your answer is gonna be in cubic centimeters. And I want to show you just this part here that wasn't shown in the previous calculation, that the cubic centimeters will need to be converted to cubic meters. So I'm just gonna concentrate on this part, where metric multiplication again becomes simple. If you have centimeters with centimeters with centimeters, you're gonna get cubic centimeters out of it. But if you need cubic meters, you need either a conversion at the end, or you need to take your measurements in meters right away, or some such thing. So unlike in the previous one, where 3 kilometers is practical to measure in 3 kilometers, you either convert it into centimeters, and then you're gonna get square centimeters at the end of it, or you're gonna have to do it this way, convert it to base units and keep your answers in base units, do the calculation that way, and then convert the answer one more time. And I'm gonna show you this converting the answer part on a piece of paper. Let me see, let's do 2 pages. Actually, I have here a Kleenex box, just a standard, how do I do this, just a standard Kleenex box like this, and I filled it with cubic centimeters here. Take a look at this one. This one here is a cubic centimeter. I know it because it has an edge length of exactly 1 centimeter times 1 centimeter times 1 centimeter. There you go. So this bathtub here, which is a Kleenex box now, happens to have a height of, just measure it this way, like so. There, 5 centimeters for height. There. We've got 5 centimeters for height. And we've got this way, its width is 10 centimeters. Sorry guys. And we multiply it by the length this way, which is 10 here plus 2, so that's gonna be 12 centimeters. And that answer is 5 times 10 times 12, just a sec, 5 by 10 by 12 equals 600 centimeters cubed. Okay. Oh, sorry guys, this is not 12, this is 22. My bad. Yeah, 10 here, and 2 in the middle. 22. Forget the 600. Just a sec. 5 times 10 times 22 equals 1100. That's better. 1100 cubic centimeters. Now I want to convert this one to cubic meters. And if we go back to the first page, the conversion between centimeter and meter is 2 jumps. Each jump meaning a 10-fold increase, but it doesn't work, it will not work in cubic centimeters. I'll explain it in a sec, and just work with me on this one here. It's coming up why the conversion rate is not 10. Here is cubic meters and cubic centimeters, and here is square meters and square millimeters and square centimeters. And for this, I'm going to have to take the camera off the tripod, and I want to show you something that's really, really small, and it's on a millimeter paper. So it's going to be handheld shot. So come on in closer. There. 10 millimeters is the same thing as 1 centimeter, and on this paper, every square, every little green square is 1 millimeter. So you can see I drew a solid line which has a length of 10 millimeter, and I did 10 broken lines with a length of 1 millimeter each, and you can see that 10 millimeter lines are as long as 1 centimeter line. So far so good. But there is more to it. When it comes to square centimeters and square millimeters, you're staring at now 1 square millimeter. I filled in 1 square with a side length of 1 millimeter by 1 millimeter, and here I filled in 1 square centimeter. Its side length is 1 centimeter in any direction. There, so it's a square that it has an area of 1 square centimeter. Now, 10 millimeters equal 1 centimeter, but 10 of these little squares won't equal to one of these. 10 square millimeters doesn't equal to 1 square centimeter. Okay, look at this one. The square millimeters, I just filled in every second one. So you can see this checkered pattern. To fill in 1 square centimeter, I need 100 square millimeters to fill in 1 square centimeter. Okay? There is again 1 square millimeter. There is 100 square millimeters. 50 of them are colored in, and 50 of them I left blank. So you need 100 square millimeters to make 1 square centimeter. Okay? The same works with, just a sec. I'm gonna write this one down. So from square millimeters to square centimeters, it's not 10 times, it's 100 time jump, okay? And the same applies from square centimeters to square decimeters. I'm gonna show you on the same sheet of paper. Same line of thinking here. The solid line is 1 decimeter long. 10 centimeters make one decimeter, so that the solid line is exactly 10 centimeters long, 1 decimeter. Those are centimeter lines as well, so 10 centimeters make 1 decimeter, but 10 square centimeters are not enough to fill 1 square decimeter. Okay, this one is 1 decimeter by 1 decimeter, and 10 of those little squares just don't fill it. I think it's pretty easy to get that you need 100 square centimeters to fill this square decimeter, okay? So that's why I put down 100 there again, and the same pattern continues. That one is 100 times, that one is 100 times, 100, okay? Everything is 100 times as big. So when you convert your final answer for a calculation and you have square anything in it, every jump is 100-fold. Likewise, when it comes to volume, every jump is gonna be 1,000-fold. I'll show you how. So this is 1 cubic centimeter, a little foam cube that has an edge length of 1 centimeter each way. And to make this one here, which has 1,000 cubes in it, I just left the plastic on it so it doesn't get, you know, dusty and whatever, because it's foam. It's easy to see that 10 of these are not enough to make one of this. This is 1 decimeter by 1 decimeter by 1 decimeter. This is 1 cubic decimeter. And you're gonna need 1,000 of these little guys to fill up one of these, because you have 10 here, 10 here, 10 here, 10 here. You have 100 just to make the first story, and 200, 300, 400, you kind of get the idea. 500, 600, you need 10 of them, 10 hundreds. You need 1,000 cubic centimeters to make 1 cubic decimeter. And likewise, and I couldn't do it with millimeters, okay? Sorry guys, but it's the same, just take my word for it. You need 1,000 cubic millimeters to make 1 cubic centimeter, and 1,000 cubic decimeters to make 1 cubic meter. Sorry guys, the cubic meter just doesn't fit the camera, okay? So come on back on the tripod. Let's finish the calculation here. Just give me a sec here. Thereabouts. Goody. Alrighty, where were we? Here's the bathtub calculation. So we have 1,100 cubic centimeters, and if we go back here, and if we have 1,100 of these, from cubic centimeters to cubic meters, the jump is 1,000 times 1,000 is 1 million. Okay, so you write down 1,100, and that one has 3 zeros and that one has 3 more zeros. So you're moving the decimal dot from here, because 1,100 is the same as 1,100.0 cubic centimeters. So you go 1, 2, 3. So that's 1.1 cubic decimeters. And indeed, I can show you that if I take out of this Kleenex box all of these rods that I kind of spilled, it's gonna be equaling one of these plus 10 more is gonna be left over, like so. Let me see, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There. This is the amount of foam that went into the this Kleenex bathtub situation, so that's 1.1 cubic decimeters, and we got 3 more zeros to go. 1, 2, 3. That's where the decimal dot will end in the final answer, and so that's the answer, 0.0011 cubic meters. There, the volume of this Kleenex box, imaginary bathtub, is that number, 0.0011 cubic meters, or 11/10,000th of a cubic meter. So that's how to work with the final answer. If the requested unit is different than the unit you did your calculation in, you're gonna need to do a conversion. And when it comes to cubic conversion or square conversion, just keep it in mind. Every jump is not tenfold anymore. Okay? So, keep practicing.